من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، قاسم الجبارين، مبير الظالمين، مدرك الهاربين، نقال الظالمين، صريح المستصرخين، موضع حاجات الطالبين، مؤتمن المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض ومن يسبح في غمراتها، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرضين بأبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. صل على محمد. طب القلوب ودوائها ونور أبصارها، وعلى أهل بيته الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في محكم كتابه: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله. Once again, we thank Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granting us with this wonderful moment, wonderful opportunity to observe our weekly Eid. I first admonish you and myself, respected brothers and sisters, to be conscious of the teachings of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let the taqwa and the consciousness of His teachings be with you wherever you find yourself. As our beloved Prophet highlighted, ittaqillaha haythuma kunt wa atbi' sayyi'ata al-hasanata tamhuha wa khaliqin nasa bi khuliqil hasan. Rasulullah said, you should be conscious of the teachings of Almighty Allah wherever you find yourself. It will be in the midst of Muslims, in the mosque, outside the mosque boundary, wherever you are, know that Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there. If brothers and sisters will recall very well, last week we dwelled on the question of laziness and the negative impact of laziness in our lives. And if you remember very well, we got to a point where we were saying our shortfalls are as a result of our laziness. We become lazy to perform salah. We become lazy to go to the mosque. We become lazy when Islam invites us. But when something else invites us, we rush and haste in going there. When Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala said, "Sari'u ila maghfiratin min rabbikum wa jannatin 'arduha as-samawati wal ard u'iddat lil muttaqin." Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala said, be in rush in going to the forgiveness of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because there is a Jannah, and the size of the Jannah is bigger and greater than the size of the earth
see, Allah sometimes in Quran, I want you to listen very carefully, He will refer to time as dahr. Where Allah in chapter Insan is saying, هَلْ أَتَى عَلَى الْإِنسَانِ حِينٌ مِّنَ الدَّهْرِ لَمْ يَكُنْ شَيْئًا مَذْكُورًا. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala in this is the emphasis of the importance of time. That you insan, there come a time when you were nothing worth mentioning. Yani there was a time when you were in a state of non-existence completely. So therefore here Allah talking about the creation of the son of Adam and how we came to this world. Allah is emphasizing on the importance of time, that we use time to create you. There was a time when there was no need for you, and there was a time when there was a need for you. Therefore, we provided you with this existence. That's number one. Sometimes Allah will not use the word ad-dahr. Allah use the word waqt, which of course you are familiar, either in Farsi or in Urdu or the common Arabic language waqt. Allah in many places, more than 10 places in Quran, He used the word waqt. An example about shaitan. When shaitan disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah told him, قال فإنك من المنذرين إلى يوم الوقت المعلوم. Allah is the word waqt. Allah said, no problem. You go and you do whatever you want to do as you please. But إلى يوم الوقت المعلوم, to unallocated period and timing. So Allah is using the word time here also. There's something when Allah sent prophets. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala in chapter Mursalat, He used the word timing. وَإِذَا الرُّسُلُ أُقِّتَتْ. أُقِّتَتْ يعني each and every prophet is allocated a portion of time. Time is crucial in our lives, and we have to be particular about time. But sometimes when it comes to religion, time I see is not all that important to most of us. Time is important, yes, to my business, yes, of course. Time is important to my meeting with my friends to sit on the baraza, yes, it's true. But when it comes to worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, time is not important. Therefore, if we don't take care, we will fail this money in the court of Allah, where there will be no bribe, where there will be no corruption. No one will take any bribe. It will be justice and absolute justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The same thing Allah tabarak wa ta'ala, when He talks about the day of Qiyamah in Quran, Allah will use the word time. Therefore, when you go to Quran, you see the word waqt is used twice in Quran. And the word miqat, if we have miqat, we go for Hajj, and other miqat are used 7 times in Quran. And you have the word mawaqit, which is the plural of time, are used 2 times in Quran. To tell you time is very important. And another terminology which Allah uses is al-asr. In this particular verse, al-asr. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. With all emphasis, Allah said, I swear by time. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is the only one who's capable of swearing by everything. I can only swear by His name, Wallah, Billah, Tallah, and that is the boundary closed completely. But when it comes to Allah, He can swear by everything. And Allah is not like me and you who swear by just anything. When He swears by something, know for sure that thing is very, very important. Allah said, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى. The night, time. Allah Tabarak was subhi إِذَا أَسْفَرَ. And the day. Allah said, وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ. Time. Allah is swearing by time to incite you or to motivate you, to tell me and you, hey, for you to be successful, time is crucial. Time is paramount. Don't ignore time. If you ignore it, it's a problem. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. Time, وَالضُّحَى, and see morning. Allah is telling me time is important. Now question, what is time? What is time in Islam? Most people, when you ask them what is time, they tell you it is دقائق والثواني التي تمر بها الإنسان. It is these minutes and seconds that passed every day in our lives. Islamically, that is not time. Time in Islam is what Islam calls time. And I talk about achievement, it's both material and spiritual. آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة. What have you achieved out of this time given to you by Allah? That is what Allah called time, or else Allah was not going to swear by this minute and seconds. Therefore, Mawlaika Ina said, قِيمَةُ كُلُّ مُرِئٍ مَا يُحْسِنُهُ. The value of every individual is what he or she is able to achieve within time allocated to him. Isn't it? You have existence, you have substance. Your existence, 50 years you spend, 10 years you spend, 100 years of existence. This is what they call Umur Zamani, periodical life. It's nothing. The second one they call the Umur Intaji, that is your substance. These 50 years given to you by Allah, these 100 years given to you by Allah, what have you achieved in your life? Don't forget, we always remind you are made up of soul and body. Soul needs its food, body needs its food. Give body its food, beautiful car, posh car, beautiful house, beautiful food. That is the body food. Soul needs its food, salat, tahajjud, ibadah, charity. So therefore, these 50 years given to you by Allah, what have you so far achieved? It's what I and you are able to achieve in my yearning towards Allah. Is my salat of yesterday equal to the salat of today? Your Juma'a of last week, the feeling, is it the same? فَإِذَا أَنْتَ مَدْبُونَ. Therefore, when we talk of a time in Islam, we are talking of the production me and you have achieved. If you have not achieved anything except negative and waste of time, as I'll mention later, then you have not utilized your time, and you will be questioned one after the other of every minute and second given to you by Allah. Hadith said, وَأَنْفَاسَكُمْ مَعْدُودًا. Even the breathing provided to you by Allah, each and every breath that you breathe will be questioned by Allah. How you utilize it, whether you did not make good use of it or not, you will be questioned on the day of Qiyamah. Therefore, time in Islam is my achievement. I wake up in the morning, I perform my Fajr on time. I've achieved today. Wallah, you don't perform Fajr on time out of negligence, and you're proud you have achieved. What have you achieved? You have achieved, you have wasted the time allocated to you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, now let us look at the khasa'is al-waqt, features and characteristics of time. The first one is al-waqt anfasu shay. Time is the most expensive thing you can afford in life. You cannot compare time to anything. This time is very expensive. You sometimes, when you buy something very expensive, how do you look after it? You buy a very posh car, very beautiful, glamorous phone, expensive. How do you look at it? Because you don't want to make israf. But you know we make israf of time. We are worried making israf of food, which is also true. But you know how israf we make towards our time? Time is getting wasted, especially when it comes to Allah. Time is wasted every single moment. When it comes to the calling of Allah and Ahlul Bayt, time is wasted completely. Therefore, no, time is expensive. Therefore, Islam said if someone gives you his time, you should appreciate and kiss his own hand. That is one feature of time, and I want it to stick in my mind and your mind. So every given period given to you, know that your value is dependent on your substance. What am I going to achieve and make out of this time? In my livelihood of this dunya and akhirah, the eye of dunya. You have to live nicely, comfortably, based on your capability. Number 2 feature of time, which is very, very important, it moves very fast. You lose it completely, you lose it. Time doesn't stay. After 50 seconds, 60 seconds, gone. Now if I don't make my salat on time, I've lost something, that fadila, I've lost it. Completely, I've lost it. Therefore, Mulaika Inat, in one of his teachings, Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib, he said, Ma asra'u as-sa'at fil ayyam, wa ma asra'u al-ayyam fi ash-shahr, wa ma asra'u ash-shuhur fi as-sinin, wa ma asra'u as-sinin fi al-umr. Look at this beautiful teaching of Mulaika. Amir al-Mu'mineen said, how shocking. Hours are just passing very fast within a day. And how shocking. Days are passing very fast within a month. And how shocking. Months are passing very fast within a year. And how shocking. Years are passing and our lifespan is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. What can we do out of this? Amir al-Mu'mineen is asking me. It's so fast. That is passing, is going. You cannot get it anymore. That is the second feature. The third feature, which is very, very important also, you cannot replace it and bring it back. So Ramadan 2014 is over. Those who purified themselves and made good use of those hours and timing, sa'at, ayyam, layali, they have managed. Those who did not manage, don't finish. Only 2015, if we remain alive. If not, we're done. Books are closed. That is the third feature of time. Therefore, Rasulullah said, Al-Fursa or Al-Waqt illam taqta'ahu yaqta'ak. It's a time, if you do not cut it, it will cut you. Or one wife said, Kasayf is like a sword. If you do not cut it, it cuts you. The scholars explain, you know how sword is sharp? The time is sharp like it. When it presented that opportunity to you and you don't use it, it will go against you. Every single time given to us, if you have not managed to use it properly on the day of Qiyamah, it will go against us in judgment. In fact, it will start in this world. Therefore, Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Al-layl wal-nahar ya'malani fika fa'mal fihima. Day and night work in you. You also work in them. These days and night, they are working in me and you. Don't get so excited. You have to work in them and benefit. At the end of the day, when you are about to sleep, say, Alhamdulillah. Between you and Allah, I managed to perform all my namaz on time. Alhamdulillah. Yes, because you have made good use of your time. Now, last but not least, how do you administer your time? Which, inshallah, next week we'll do more on that. Because you have to know time administration and management. If you don't know how to manage your time, both spiritually and materially, the first factor of time management in Islam, I mentioned before in Ramadan, is to have your own personal program. I wake up 5 o'clock. Fajr is 5:30. I take my bath. I recite a little bit of Quran, if you do. I go to work this time. Zuhr is 12:30, 12:45. I don't want to miss. I go back to work. I knock off 6 o'clock, 5 p.m. Maghrib is 7 o'clock. I don't want to miss. You have to have a time. A mu'min without this is not a real mu'min. Don't do tahajjud, leave it. Don't recite Quran, leave it. It's not a big deal, it's not wajib. But have time, mu'min, believer. Alaykum bi taqwallah wa nadhmi amrikum. Amir al-Mu'min said. Have taqwa and be organized. I know you are all organized. What time you go to work? What time you have a meeting? That one, no go area, you have done it. What of your namaz? I'm talking of wajibat namaz. I'm not talking about mustahab. Wajibat, put it in your agenda. 12:30 is, I'm controlling this thing. I have to go for namaz. After namaz, I will see to it. How many of us, you have your own business, you are own bosses of yourself. During namaz time, you ignore it, you perform on your own time. How many of us? And judge yourself. Judge yourself before you are judged. How many of us are not employees? And you cannot even perform salat on time. You know what does it mean in Islam? You are slave to time and the world. You are not slave of Allah. That is the clarification of being a slave of time and the world, not a slave of Allah. So therefore the first part of it, organize yourself. Number 2, when you put programs, make sure each and every program has its own specific timing. And it cannot be substituted as Allah does in Islam. Every spiritual work as is, look, Allah is so merciful, brothers. Sometimes you see, you feel shy even raising your hand asking Allah because you are not really adhering to the law of nature. In what sense? How many times do you make a namaz and how many times you have for your livelihood? The time you have for your dunya is more, and that is how Allah made it. Those few time in Fajr, 5 minutes or 3 minutes. Zuhr and Asr, you give it 10 minutes. Maghrib and Isha, you 15 minutes. Done, finish. The rest is yours. فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا. The only time you spend 1 hour or less is Juma'a and nothing else. But still, the son of Adam finds it so heavy too, because we are not organized spiritually. You find some of the brothers, between Maghrib and Isha, they have to go out and sit outside. When Azhar Isha come, they come. What is this? You have wasted your time. Some they want to go because they want to smoke. Between Maghrib and Isha, some they don't want to smoke. They just want to go out and come back. Time is wasted. Wasted. Therefore, even in Western language, they said we have a natural time, constructive time, and an unconstructive time. Natural time, the time you eat, the time you sleep. It's a natural time. It's whether you know you have it or not, it's part of your program. The constructive time is a time you benefit. Between Maghrib and Isha, some people want to go out. What are you going to do? You are wasting your time. And the breathing is getting counted. The time to be here quiet, you are going to finish. So let's appreciate bounties of Allah. Number 3, how do you manage your time? Try not to postpone the things of today for tomorrow. Rasulullah said, إِيَّاكَ وَالتَّسْوِيفِ لِأَنَّهُ قَدْ غَرِقَ كَثِيرٌ مِنَ الْحَلْقَةِ. Prophet said, be careful of postponement. I want to do today, let him do and finish. Why don't we postpone tomorrow? Because Prophet said, many people drowned in the big ocean because of postponement. Don't postpone. It's how you manage time. And last but not least, we conclude here. Make up for the lost times. How? When I talk of make up for the lost time, I give an example. You want to travel. You are at the airport. And now you are informed the flight has been cancelled. You see, in Islam, they said this time, you have a lot of time. Use it for something valuable before the next step. It's how you manage time. You are conscious, you are particular. I have a meeting with you. I come, something happened, you are not there. Instead of me sitting, gossiping, talking, backbiting, reading unnecessary magazines that has nothing to do with my life, let him do do something either for my material world or spiritual world before the time comes. Therefore, time is very important. Next week, inshallah, we'll look at other aspects of time management and the free time we have. We ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to forgive us. Inshallah. We ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to make it easy for each and every one of us. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر.